Hey there guys, welcome back for another Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine review. This week, take a look at issue 13. So, this issue we get our first 5 official Assault Intercessors. And as I mentioned last week, I'm calling these the official ones because they are the ones that come in the starter sets and also the Imperium Indomitus box set. The 3 that we got before I will call the paint set models because they are the 3 that you get when you buy the 40k paint set. So here we get 5 Assault Intercessors and obviously bases for them. Now they are push fit models. They are not the Assault Intercessors that we get if you buy the retail box. They are not the retail Intercessors. These are the starter set Intercessors. So they are all push fit, and the price at the end will be reduced a little bit to reflect that they are not the official ones. I'll probably use the recruit edition because it's the cheapest one that you can get these models in, and then I'll roughly work out or divide the price by the 2 halves, you know, the Necrons and these guys, and I'll work out something. It's not going to be a huge saving. I'd say these would probably, for these 5, retail probably at around £9 or £10, and then around £20 for a squad of 10, bearing in mind I think it's around £32.50 for the official ones or the retail ones. So yeah, probably around £10 to £12 for these. A little bit of a saving, but it's 5 Assault Intercessors. So these guys, obviously we'll take a look in the magazine. You do get a couple of weapon options on here, and you will get some bits on here that go with the other half. This is one of 2 sprues, although I think they actually came as 5. I don't remember them. There's no cut, cut edges, so I think the other 5 that we get are going to be the same. But you can use some of these if you want to make a squad with a sergeant and then a squad without a sergeant, so you've got a unit of 10. Then you'll use some of the parts from this or the other one, so that you're not making a sergeant, you're just making an intercessor. But yeah, there we go. For the painting video on these guys, obviously it's the first ones that we've got, I'm not including the painting ones, so I'm going to show you how to paint them up as Dark Angels. I've not done Dark Angels yet. The reason being is I actually wanted the model from the painting set, the guy throwing the grenade. He doesn't come as part of these. You can get one throwing a grenade in the retail box, but not on these, and I wanted him to stand out a little bit. With regards to these guys, they are actually going to replace my Indomitus Intercessors that I have been using for the painting tutorials that I've done, or the painting videos that I've done previously for Imperium. So I used some of my own models there, knowing I would get this to replenish them, and then the other 5 will be added to my army, so I will end up with a total of 15. The 10 I already own, 5 of them being here, plus the other half of this. So yeah, there's that, and the creaky chair. So, before we get into that, we actually have a cool little pull out here, and the reason I say it's cool is these guys. This is 1,000 chapters, so obviously it's part of the Space Marines side, and he's talking about the many chapters known throughout the galaxy, including, probably unknown ones, which obviously Games Workshop say there are unknown ones, so that we can create our own chapters. But what I like is the Black Templars here. Now, all of these models here, and this actual image, is from the recently released Black Templars stuff. obviously at the time I am filming this, I think this issue is actually just hitting the shops this week. I'm filming this on a Monday, and I think this issue hits the shops this coming Wednesday. So it's only about 2 weeks ago now that these got released. So yeah, it may even have been last weekend, but we've got they are showing it in the magazine not long after, so it makes me wonder, is there anything else that Games Workshop are going to be releasing that we will eventually see in the magazine? I think it's pretty cool, but unfortunately there's no other teasers. Had they released this before these guys were released, then everybody would have known, because they would have been, oh, look at all this new stuff. So obviously they've had to make sure that it is put in the right issue, that it comes out after the release of that. Anyway, on this side, this is a large fold out one. So on this side we've got the Black Templars and the Imperial Fists. Now the Black Templars are a second founding chapter of the Imperial Fists. So yeah, it's basically one chapter plus their spin-off. On this side we've got the Space Wolves. Now I have looked through all of this, and there is nothing here that we don't already know about. There's no teasers, so they're obviously careful with that. We have my love here, the Dark Angels, and this is actually the reason, or one of the reasons, that I love them. Other than their lore, the army themselves feature 3 different colour schemes. You've got black for the second company, bone white for the first company, and then green for everything else. It means when painting them, you get a nice variety. You're not stagnant on the same colour scheme for an entire army. You get to chop and change between the 3. For me, that's great. You know, if I was painting Ultramarines, do an entire army, it would take me way too long, because I'd have to have breaks between painting blue upon blue upon blue. And the same with green. If I was just doing a Green Wing army, I don't think I could do it. The fact that we've got these 3 different schemes within an army is just one thing that I do love about them. Then on the other side we have White Scars and Blood Angels, and obviously I've already shown you guys how to paint Blood Angels in, I think it was 2 weeks ago episode, and we've still got the White Scars to come, and I will also be showing you how to paint Space Wolves and Imperial Fists, so don't worry, I will cover each of the first founding chapters, so the original chapters. And then on the inside of the fold out, see if we can get, oh, look at that, I can get the majority of it on camera. We've got Adeptus Astartes at War, so a little bit about the Adeptus Astartes fleet-based chapters and chapter planets, which was in the magazine last issue. I'm not read through it yet, but I'm assuming there's going to be a little bit more info there. And we have this pretty cool map of the galaxy as it stands. So we've got the Eye of Terror, originally started up here with Cadia right on the borders of it, and they were the defenders of the Eye of Terror. They kept everything there. But when Abaddon and his Black Legion, and I believe it was Nurgle as well, basically just attacked and destroyed Cadia, this huge rift opened up all the way between these 2 points. Obviously we've had smaller ones open up throughout places anyway, but this huge one is what separated the galaxy. So we've got down here the main area, we've got Terra and Mars, so obviously we know this is Earth. We've got the Ultima Segmentum over this way, which features Macragge, which is obviously Gilliman's homeworld. And then north of it is, as they've done it, it's in darkness. The Astronomicon light from the Emperor can't be seen up here. It's blocked by this, which is basically an opening into the warp. So anything this side, they can't see it, which makes travel through the warp extremely difficult and definitely dangerous. So travelling around at the minute is a little bit slow up the north there. And obviously anything from the south is having to travel through this tear to get to here, which isn't good. Obviously it's a bit more powerful in this area, a lot more demons and evil coming out of it, so it makes travelling across a little bit difficult. And obviously once you're on that side, how do you find your way back, because there's no guiding light. So it's not a guaranteed one-way trip, but you know, it's certainly risky going over there and then trying to make your way back. So yeah, pretty cool pull out or fold out with a nice map of the galaxy there. So back to the magazine. We feature a nice red blood angel on the front there. I assume it's a blood angel. Yeah, you got the teardrop. Assault Intercessors, mobile close combat specialists. Assault Intercessors are frontline shock troops who are equipped with lethal heavy bolt pistols and adamantine toothed chainswords that can cut through armour with ease. Their task is to charge the enemy and use their melee weapons to disrupt and break their lines. Now, Assault Intercessors. I'm not a huge fan of them. Back in the older editions we had Assault Marines and they had jump packs. It meant they could get across the battlefield quick and they could get into combat and they could do damage and get back out. These guys, they're on foot. They don't have that jump ability, which means you've got to slowly march them up the table. I mean, you can charge them and whatever, but you've got to get them up the table. And as far as I'm aware, Primaris Marines don't fit in old transport. They don't fit in the tracked transport. So rhinos and stuff, the cheap stuff, isn't good for them anymore. It means that if you really want to get them up the table, you've got to spend a few extra points buying a transport for them, get them up there, get them out, and get them attacking. So yeah, they're not my go-to choice in an army. I prefer ranged weapons or anything that can move a little bit quicker than these guys. But there you go. Games Workshop release these guys with a jump pack option. It wouldn't even be hard. All they've got to do is do an upgrade sprue that comes with jump packs, so you can buy these guys, buy the upgrade sprue, throw the jump packs on them, and they get the jump rule. You know, the extra data sheet or addition to their data sheet. 10th edition maybe, who knows. So, In Search of Immortality. Oh, battle record, as always, we got a record for the unit. Then In Search of Immortality. The Necrons are feared across the Imperium and beyond as a race of immortal android warriors. Rumours persist of ancient Necron tombs rising from beneath the surface of settled worlds and of relentless legions crushing all beneath their metallic tread. Yet the Necrons were not always thus. So they're going to have a bit of background reading here for the Necrons. But in short, the Necrons were originally a dying race called the Necrontyr, and they had an affliction within their race that was killing them all off. The Old Ones created the galaxy long before pretty much anything existed, and the Eldari were kind of like their favourites. So the Necrons, they didn't like that the Eldari were favoured, and they went to the Old Ones and said, look, our species is dying, we need help. And the Old Ones said, nope, we're not going to do it. So the Necrontyr said, well, you know, that ain't fair, we'll fight you. So a huge war started out between the Old Ones and the Eldari, and the Necrontyr obviously weren't doing too well. So the Catan, enemies of the Old Ones, again, gods, showed up to the Necrontyr and said, look, we know a way that we can help you. you're going to have to transfer into robot bodies. It will make you immortal, it will make you powerful, and you will be able to destroy the Eldari and the Old Ones. So they went through this process of changing them over, and it turned out the Catan were lying. When the Necrons became these machines, their souls were leached and eaten by the Catan, making the Catan a little bit more powerful. So all the Necrons lost their souls. They still kept their memories intact, or at least the nobles did. The civilians and all the other lot just became mindless robots. Anyway, Necrons, as they now became known, didn't like that the Catan had tricked them, so they fought off the Old Ones, enslaved the Catan. They had a war against them, beat them, and after their war they were too tired and couldn't carry on fighting. They still had the Eldari to fight, so they said, look, we can outlive this race, we're immortal now, so we'll just go into stasis, we'll go into sleep underground, we'll come back in a few 100,000 years and take what's ours. We'll take back what's ours. You know, the Eldari will die off, there'll be new races, they'll be weak, we'll be able to fight them. And that leads us to the Tomb Awakens. So, within the obsidian bowels of her tomb world... Oh no, this is stories. So, there they are, sleeping, and they have awoken too early. But essentially, that is the story of the Necrons and the Necrontyr. They were tricked into becoming robots, didn't like that they were tricked, killed their gods, couldn't quite fight off their enemies, so they went to sleep for however many hundreds thousands of years, and are awaiting to be awoken. Unfortunately, they've started waking early, which is why we now have tomb worlds and Necrons awakening to find that their worlds have been taken over by species. You know, the Eldar have settled on some of them. Humans have settled on way too many of them. They're not happy about that, and so they are destroying everything on their planets to try and take their galaxy back. So we have here stories. The Tomb Awakens. Within the obsidian bowels of her tomb world, a Necron overlord rises from her stasis crypt, her slumber prematurely disturbed by the presence of verminous intruders. Now that's interesting. I've not read a huge amount of books and stuff on Necrons, but I've never heard of a her. As far as I'm aware, they are all referred to as he's. Obviously they're now machines, they're technically neither, but they're referring to a her as a her. And it's weird, I've never thought, you know, I'm not not sexist or anything like that, just the natural way of thinking of Necrons are not necessarily as he's or she's, but it just becomes he, just to represent neutralism. So yeah, female Necrons. I mean, why wouldn't there be? You know, there were female rulers. I'm sure there would have been. So I may even, when it comes to naming my Necrons, end up with a female noble. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, so obviously we got a bit of story, and as far as I know, the first story featuring a she instead of a he. So I will enjoy reading that, and I hope you guys do too. If you have already read it, let me know down in the comments what you thought about it. You know, so obviously a short there, but yeah, female Necrons could be pretty cool. How to build assault intercessors. So as I've already said, these are multi-part pieces, but they are push fit, so you're gonna have to obviously follow the numbers, make sure that each one goes together correctly. You will be building a sergeant with this one, and I'm assuming the other 5 will say, instead of building a sergeant, build another guy. The reason you have to be, if you want units of 5 and you want a sergeant for each unit, build him up as a sergeant. But if you then decide you want to run it as a unit of 10, you will have to tell the opponent that one of the sergeants is not running a plasma pistol, because you can only have one sergeant in a unit of 10 and only the sergeant can have a plasma pistol. So if you do stick a plasma pistol on this guy, you will have to say, if he's in a unit of 10, that the other guy is not a sergeant and does not have a plasma pistol, it's a heavy bolt pistol. But they do give you the options if you want to make a heavy bolt pistol guy. That will obviously be what we use for the other 5 to make a unit of 10, and then you could then break it down and say, yeah, he's got a plasma pistol instead of the bolt pistol, and do it vice versa. And then obviously you've got 4 more assault intercessors to build, and then painting them. So again, Macragge blue for the priming or the base paint, lead belcher on all the metallic areas. In my videos I don't show how I paint the backpacks, but I do this with them. So for future reference, if I say that I've painted the vents on the back, it is these vents here and just the thin strip around the edge. I don't paint the ball part that this plate is sitting on, it is just the thin strip and the vents inside. So as you can see they're doing here, that's what I do with my vents. And then the rest of the backpack is painted the same as the armour, which is why I don't show painting the backpack in the videos, guys. You know, you're watching the armour, you don't need to see the backpack as well. So then we've got the areas that we're going to do Abaddon black. Now I usually paint anything that's going to be metallic with black anyway, but blue is a relatively dark enough colour that the silver will look just fine on. Just don't do it over something like white or yellow. It's not a strong enough really colour to do this. So if you're doing it over a light colour, go with black first and then silver over the top. Then the chainsword, and as you guys will see, I love to do hazard stripes on my chainswords, so do check the video up in the corner there for my Dark Angel and how I do the hazard stripes and other such stuff. So then you've got Retributor armour and Screamer pink, and then that's what you'll be left with, and then you can add these to the rest of your growing force. Then we've got the playthrough. Again, check the card in the corner there. Now as I'm recording these, I am saying check the card in the corner. If there isn't one for these, it is because there wasn't enough likes on the previous videos that I felt you guys were enjoying them, so I didn't continue after 10. So if I'm saying through these ones, because I haven't released episode 10 yet, so I don't know how things are going with it. I'm recording these still whilst I'm releasing them, so if I'm saying check the card for the playthroughs and there's no playthrough, it means it wasn't good enough and I stopped doing it. But if there's a card, and it meant one or two things: you guys enjoyed the videos, or I enjoyed playing them and recording them, and so I'm throwing them up there anyway. But this week, if it is up there, it is the battle for the orb. So we've got a resurrection orb. Now I haven't gone through this properly. I don't know if we are actually going to be using the resurrection orb within the game. I don't think we are. We do, however, get data sheets. So we've got the Primaris Captain and the Assault Intercessor Squad, the Scorpec Destroyers and the Canoptic Scarabs, and then it says you can do a rematch to swap these units out. So we've got the Aggressors and the Overlord. So we've got official data cards now for, or data sheets for them. I don't know if they are going to do a full page one like they did with Mortal Realms, where it was a full data sheet and then their special rules and then how to use the special rules on the reverse, or if this is what we are now getting from this point onwards. Only time will tell. I think it's around issue 20 that they actually started doing that with Mortal Realms, so we'll see. Obviously we've got the setup and playthrough here, and then coming to the end of that is the end of the episode. So as I said, got on your screen here the estimated cost of the Intercessors based on the Recruit Edition box set, as that comes with the fewest amount of models and the cheapest price, so then I can divide it and get a rough estimate. I'd say probably about £11 to £12, if that, for the Assault Intercessors. So maybe a couple of pounds saving, £3 saving. But as I always say, you get a magazine with it and you make savings in the long run. If you want more Assault Intercessors, I do know that on eBay these Assault Intercessors are being sold for £18 to £20 for 10 of them. So you could say that people are pricing them again around about £9 to £10 for 5 of them, which seems about right. So yeah, next week we've got issue 14, which comes with the armoured container and the crates and barrels. Obviously I'll show you how to do the armoured container, and then I think the next time we get one we'll do crates, and the time after that we'll do barrels, just so I'm not doing Space Marines every time, but we'll see when it comes to that. And then issue 15, this is the issue that I'm waiting for. I've got a horrible feeling I'm not going to be able to source extra copies of it. 5 for me isn't enough. I want 15 of them. I'm hoping to get another 2 issues. Great savings. I think these are around £32 as well. So a huge saving on that issue. Great models. Just yeah. So a couple of weeks time, you'll see a painting video for that, and hopefully I managed to get a couple more issues. But that is it for now, guys. That's the end of the video. Thank you ever so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button, give it a like. If you've not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button and ding the bell for notifications of when new videos go live. If there is a playthrough up there, check it out, and please hit like on that, because the more likes I get on those, the more confident I am to keep doing them. If you have recently subscribed, a huge warm welcome to you. Thank you ever so much for your support. But until next time, guys, take it easy, keep painting those minis.